You have a $10,000 credit card limit. You spend $8,000 this month. You are a responsible person, so you pay the entire balance in full right before the due date. You pay 0 interest. You feel smart. Then you check your credit score, and it just dropped 45 points. Why? Because you play by the rules they teach the middle class. You assume the bank monitors your daily financial virtue. They don't. The algorithm only takes one snapshot, and you let them take it at the worst possible moment. In the next few minutes, we will decode the algorithmic reality of the credit system. First, you will discover the calendar discrepancy banks use to report false debt. Second, we will destroy the myth of the $0 balance. Third, you will learn the exact 1% AZEO protocol the elite use to manipulate their scores. By the end of this video, you will understand how to manually override the reporting system to guarantee an elite rating. Write this down now. Your credit score does not measure your responsibility. It measures your algorithmic compliance. Let's break the illusion. The entire credit industry is built on a calendar trap. You believe the due date is the only day that matters. That is exactly what the system wants you to think. Paying on the due date avoids late fees. It avoids interest, but it does absolutely nothing to protect your credit score. The real metric is the statement closing date. This happens usually 25 days before your due date. This is the exact second the bank generates your monthly PDF. This is the moment the algorithmic camera flashes. It takes a static photograph of your balance and sends it directly to Experian and Equifax. The system operates on snapshots, not video. If your balance is high on the statement date, the credit bureaus record high debt. It does not matter if you pay it all down to 0 5 days later. The damage is done. The narrative for that month is written. You look like a massive risk. Credit utilization makes up 30% of your entire FICO score. It is the second most powerful factor after your payment history. The system has a strict psychological threshold. The moment you use more than 30% of your available limit, you trigger an algorithmic alarm. You become a liability. The system assumes you're desperate for cash. It penalizes you instantly. And here's the brutal part. This applies to both your total credit and your individual cards. You could have $100,000 in total credit, but if you max out a single $5,000 card for a vacation, your score bleeds. But unlike missed payments, which haunt you for 7 years, utilization has no memory. It resets every 30 days. You can completely manipulate this metric if you know exactly when the camera flashes. You must control the narrative they report. So, the logical assumption is to pay everything down to absolutely 0 before the statement closes. Right? Wrong. That is another psychological trap. If you constantly report a $0 balance, the system penalizes you for inactivity. The algorithm is a machine. It needs data to evaluate risk. If you report 0, you give it no data on how you manage active debt. You look invisible, and invisible does not get premium loan rates. To override this, the elite use a strategy called AZEO. All 0 except 1. You pay off every single credit card to $0, exactly 3 days before their statement closing dates. Except for one card. On that final card, you leave a microscopic balance, usually between 1% and 7% of the limit. This signals to the algorithm that you are actively using the system, but you have terrifyingly strict control over your resources. Elite scores require active, calculated management. To execute this, you must destroy your reliance on convenience. Autopay is a trap. Autopay is designed to save you from late fees, but it pays on the due date. It is entirely useless for optimizing your score. You must switch to manual intervention. You must log into your accounts and initiate transfers at least 48 to 72 hours before the statement closing date. Banks deliberately hide this date in their apps. You have to open your previous PDF statements to find your exact billing cycle. This requires discipline. It requires treating your credit profile like a strategic corporate asset. You are prepaying your debt before it officially exists in the eyes of the bureaus. But do not try to outsmart the system aggressively. Some people try credit cycling. They spend their full limit, pay it off, and spend it again multiple times a month to get rewards. The risk department sees this as money laundering. They will permanently shut down your accounts. You must also protect your foundation. Never close old credit cards. Closing an old card wipes out its credit limit. That instantly shrinks your total available credit, which mathematically forces your utilization percentage to spike. You destroy your own ratio, and you must prepare for the future. The new FICO 10T model is rolling out. The T stands for trended data. The algorithm will no longer just look at a monthly snapshot. It will analyze your balance trends over the last 24 months. Consistency is no longer optional. It is mandatory. The rules are getting stricter. Adapt or bleed. The banks hope you ignore the statement date. They hope you rely on autopay. They profit from your lack of algorithmic literacy. Your credit score is not a reflection of your moral character. It is a reflection of how well you play their mathematical game. Once you control the data they extract, you control your financial leverage. If you want to master wealth psychology and decode the hidden traps of the financial system, subscribe to see reality clearly. Study the structure, because money isn't just earned, it's engineered.